Wanna be welcome once more for this platform. Nami Capo Daniel, the Deputy Defense Chief of the Ambazonia Defense Forces, aka Sense Pass King. Today I want to take una for the Biafran movement. The Biafran people then they ran get a sit-in protest calling for the release of their leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, leader of IPOD, who is championing the self-determination movement of the Biafran people who aspire to be free and to be an independent state away from Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be very happy for announcing our observation for that protest. It be 100% successful. The Biafran people then they start this sit-in protest on the 9th of this month. Is similar the same day as pointed out by Dr. Chu Ayaba, leader of Ambazonia Liberation War. It started coincidentally on the same day that the people of Ambazonia started their own sit-in protest to demonstrate to the world the will of the people in demand for independence. We want to congratulate IPOD. We want to congratulate the people of Biafra who have come together behind Nnamdi Kanu as a new Mandela. He represents himself like a Mandela to his people who are aspiring for independence and freedom from torture, freedom from persecution, subjugation which they have suffered under the hands of Nigeria since the amalgamation that had divided the state of Eastern Nigeria, which today they call Biafra. The Ambazonian people stand shoulder to shoulder with the Biafran people, especially with the alliance of the Ambazonia Governing Council and the movement of the IPOD. The indigenous people of Biafra will stand together shoulder to shoulder with them to support them. If the Nigerian government, they thought that by kidnapping Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya and putting him in cages is going to stop this movement, as a matter of fact, they have actually put this movement on its expectant course that is going to bring about the expectant result of independence to the Biafran people. This is a big victory for those who have been clamoring for independence for Biafra. It's a big loss to Nigeria. Now we have seen a situation where the Biafran people have been cornered, and due to this rendition of Nnamdi Kanu have taken this bold step into asserting themselves. Now the Biafran people have asserted themselves as masters of their own destiny by sitting down this day, and it is going to continue every Monday. The people of Biafra have assumed the primary responsibility of determining their future. It has also shown a trust in their leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and all those who clamor for the same. It has also shown that the people of Biafra are allegiance to their state and not to Nigeria. These things have only come about because Nnamdi Kanu was illegally picked up from Nigeria. As you know, the Cameroon government also have been involved with the alliance with the Aso Rock to try to undermine the aspiration of indigenous people in the Gulf of Guinea, but mainly the people of Ambazonia. So ladies and gentlemen, I will get into full gear to bring you updates with pictures coming in from Biafra land. But before, I want to mention some of this news that is coming up from Ambazonia. So there are news that the Cameroon government have been attacked in Bui. They lost 7 of their men, and as a reprisal, the Cameroon military went into nearby villages where the population was running away and killed 7 innocent civilians in Bui. Such killings now just evidence where they show for the people and say this army of Cameroon, an occupation army, where them be bent for kill and destroy life for Ambazonia. There is no justification for a professional military, a military on salary, a military with ranks and files representing a state, the state of Cameroon, to go and respond to an act carried out by legitimate forces on the ground that they know their political agenda. For the Cameroon government to then turn and kill innocent civilians, it shows us 2 things. 1, the Cameroon government do not see the people of Ambazonia like their citizens. No government will attack their own citizens for action committed by armed forces or armed group representing a movement. This shows to the people unequivocally that Cameroon government is an occupation force. Their army do not represent the people. These killings is a message to the Ambazonian people that the Cameroon government is not their government. It is a foreign government that seeks to dominate and subjugate our people, just like the white men did during the era of colonialism. It is a war crime. It's a crime against humanity. There is no justification of targeting innocent civilians, and we have to fight to stop this impunity and liberate ourselves from a state that imposes itself upon us using terrorism tactics. The second thing such killing shows is that it is systemic. We have seen this type of killing over and over for the past 4 years, with now over 30,000 Ambazonians being killed by the Cameroon military, systemic as reprisal actions, as well as actions to inflict on our people collective punishment. This shows that it is systemic. It is coming right from the top of the President of La République du Cameroon. No actions will be taken against these soldiers who are committing these crimes and these atrocious crimes in Ambazonia. So our people have to know that we are on our own, and for our survival, our collective survival, we must come together to fight this occupation with everything we have as a matter of survival and as a matter of liberation. There are other actions that have ensued. The Ambazonia Defense Forces, I'll bring you footages of their activities in Manu State as well as in Upper Banyang, where we are expanding in our drive to reach Buea, the capital city of Ambazonia. So ladies and gentlemen, let me take you back to Biafra land. As I said a while ago, it is a big success, and this is a fat win for the people of Biafra, that the entire Biafra have sit down, stay at home to observe this sit-in strike called by IPOD, the movement of Nnamdi Kanu, that are calling the people to stay home to protest the kidnapping of Nnamdi Kanu and rendition to Nigeria, to demand for his release. And this is only going to fuel the drive for self-determination of the Biafran people towards independence. There are footages that have come up. We have seen one of the incidents that happened in is this Apa? We have had these videos and images coming from social media and from publication of platforms that represent the Biafran movement. We have seen images of 2 Libra bus and 1 Keke. Keke is a small Bensikin, we call them in Ambazonia Bensikin or bike men, that were targeted, that seeks to violate this protest. It's very, very dangerous for anybody to try to circumvent the law of the land. When the people collectively make a decision for the common good, nobody should violate it. And we are calling on all Ambazonians who are in Biafra to observe this Monday sit-in protest that will be taking place every Monday, the same day that the people of Ambazonia will be observing the same. We are together. We must show solidarity together. And everybody in Biafra land should observe this day. It's very important, irrespective of your opinion. Going against something which is for the public good, you already put yourself in paras with the people and the vanguards of the revolution. We have seen major markets in Biafra land. We have seen this is a market in Aba. A market in Aba is very, very famous market, very huge market, closed down. Even the federal government in Biafra land also closed down to observe this day of sit-in protest. Even in Onitsha, we have images coming in from Onitsha, and you see everybody's indoor to observe this day, to send a message to the Nigerian government and their allied Cameroon and the international community that they cannot trample upon the people's right of Africa. The people of Biafra have the rights to organize themselves and advocate for their self-determination, which is exactly what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was doing. It is a great success. Looking at these pictures of Onitsha, I'm very, very embarrassed. I've been to Lagos, I've been to Abuja, I've seen the level of investment by the federal government of Nigeria to make those cities economically vibrant, and to see that Onitsha, a huge and highly populated state like this, it have been left to rot. And look how it is dusty and everything. The Biafran people have to fight really to take control of their resources and invest it in their own land. And it's a very, very, very big success. The Cameroon government, with Nigerian government, have tried to undermine this resistance by using paid agents to make statements that will suppress the enthusiasm of the international media to cover this event. but we have said always that the revolution shall not be televised except by revolutionaries. So we are here to tell the whole world to understand through ACN TV what is going on in Biafra. We saw one of the factions of the Ambazonian movement, the IG faction led by a splinter group of the IG faction led by Sako Ekome, who came out with a press statement of the fact that there is no alliance between the Biafran people and the Ambazonian people. Of course, we know that is just lies, and those press conferences were pushed to Nigerian media and media across the globe to publish them in order to suppress what is happening, which is that the Biafran people have risen up. La République du Cameroon and Nigeria have failed, and the people have risen up. Their story will be told nevertheless, and we want to shame all those who are paid agents who are trying to derail the people's aspiration. There have been a press release from the Ambazonia Governing Council stating clearly that the alliance between both people of Ambazonia and the people of Biafra is strong. The alliance between IPOD and the Governing Council is strong. The Governing Council also will continue to seek other alliances within the Biafran people, as there are several factions, but we do recognize Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and IPOD as the major faction, just as the Ambazonia Governing Council is one of the major factions in the Ambazonian side. So we are very happy. Congratulations to the Biafran people. They should continue this march and continue to evolve. The Nigerian government will continue to try to undermine them by paying some KK men to go on the road and try to misrepresent this drive, but the Eastern Security Network will trust them to step up and be the vanguard of this people activity so that it will not be undermined. And anybody who takes bribe from Nigeria government should not be allowed to have peace, but this type of activity, we are expecting them, and we know the Eastern Security will handle such movement. So this is now an active drive of self-determination, and we now know that the message have been sent to the international system that the Biafran people are now in control of their land. They are now taking active control. It is only going to get worse. And on a personal note, I want to tell the Biafran people that we do not expect any justice from a system that is meant to subjugate the Biafran people. And people should stop expecting that Nnamdi Kanu is going to be released because of the laws in Nigeria. Nevertheless, they have to make their case, but they have to focus more on the liberation of Biafra, because that is the most important thing that Nnamdi Kanu have dedicated his life for. It is one for all for one. Nnamdi Kanu is very frail. We have had information about his health, and we are very concerned about his health. We call for his immediate release and unconditional release. He is no criminal, and we want to shame and name the British government for failing to provide him adequate consular support as a British citizen. We'll continue to pray for his family and for his well-being, and for him to have strength as he has always had strength. But we continue to encourage the Biafran people to focus on liberation. They will have to stop any Nigerian government promulgation of itself in Biafra land, especially with elections that are due to Anambra. Is it Anambra State? Anambra State will be having a governor elections. That should never ever happen. It is time for the Biafran movement, the people of Biafran, to really consider making Biafran ungovernable for Nigeria, and from stopping all the exploitation that is going on in the Gulf of Guinea of our resources by the Western powers that are backing the Buhari and Nigerian government to continue their subjugation of the Biafran people. It's very imperative, because those resources, so long as they are exploiting those resources, they will have no incentive to put pressure on Nigerian government, and the Nigerian government will have no incentive to stop this madness. Nigerian government governance of Biafran land should come to an end, and their exploitation as well should come to an end. International politics is not about human rights or sympathy. It's all about political interest, and we are wise enough to know that. We are wise enough to take measures to mitigate that. We hope the Biafran movement is going to follow suit, and it's inevitable. They are going to go to that route. So we have seen all those images. I want to play some images to you to watch. Also, the Biafran people in abroad have also risen up to rise up and organize protests to show you that the people are behind Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. These are images of in Berlin of protests by Biafran people who are demanding the release of their leader.
We never needed France. We never needed Britain. Britain and the jihadist government of Nigeria are killing our people. They are raping our mothers. They are raping our sisters. During the Biafran war, the British jihadist colony murdered 5 million Biafrans. 5 million. They decapitated our people. They are turning our children to refugees in the whole world. We are not refugees. That's not plan we have for our children. We have a future for our children, but we need to be free from Nigeria. We are not Nigerians. We are Biafrans.
We are not Nigerians. We are Biafrans. The word echo from Berlin in Germany by Biafrans who are protesting the arrest of their leader and calling for liberation and self-determination of their territory. The calls are only going to get louder. The effect of the diaspora movement for Biafrans is only going to get louder, and the support for the Biafran liberation now will intensify with this poor judgment from Nigeria. The international community and the African people have to understand that the state of Gulf of Guinea have become a black hole for international diplomacy and humanitarian law. Nigerian government and Cameroon government do not care about the African Charter or international humanitarian law. They have violated it with the arrest of Siseko Ayok Tabi, one of the Ambazonian leaders in Nigeria, and now the Nigerian government involvement in the rendition of Nnamdi Kanu. We have to know that the international law do not apply to these people because they have British and the French government to back them up. We have to fight this survival fight with all our might. We have to engage and kick these people out of our land because we have no choice. Otherwise, our children and our children's children will become refugees. The migration out of Biafra and Ambazonia will continue unabated. We have to fight this. It is an existential threat to our people. This is a battle for our self-preservation, and we must fight it knowing that these people care less about the international law and the international system as well care less about these people. We have also seen that local chiefs in Imo State in Nigeria have also come out to declare their support for Nnamdi Kanu and also pronouncing libation and curses to anybody who stand against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And this message should also go to Samuel Ikomesako, the paid agent of Cameroon government that have tried to denigrate Nnamdi Kanu's alliance with Dr. Cho Ayaba. This should be a message to all of them, coming from chiefs.
Mana everybody go belen kasi bebe ni kukwaya. Ibu angende gubiri. Iba ine ku na Nnamdi Kanu gwara isu na one family. One family okwe? Oje tabilo ni nwanne. Ayo ga happen ndi na chuozo chuo nwa yo. Ayo ga happen ndi na chuozo chuo nwa yo. Ka ko ye bi na bi ko ke bia na.
So these are local chiefs of Imo State. They have come together to send a powerful message. They are together with Nnamdi Kanu, and they put a curse on anybody who goes against Nnamdi Kanu, a selfless individual who have stood for the right of self-determination of the indigenous people of Biafra and Biafrans living everywhere to be able to return back to a homeland that they can call theirs and self-govern themselves and determine their political outlook as their right is under international law. And this goes to everybody who have come against them. And this have now shown that there is a now direct challenge by IPOT with the Nigerian government. This movement and this ghost town policy is very good. They should move it towards the ungovernability, and they should make sure there will be no federal election conducted in the Anambra state that is due. They have to stop it. They cannot allow Nigerian government to kidnap their leader, try to stifle Biafran voices, and at the same time organizing pro-Nigerian elections in Biafra land. It's not tolerable. This is war. So, ladies and gentlemen, there have been attempts, as we have said very well, by federalists within the Ambazonian movement, paid agents to try to undermine this movement in Biafra. We have seen one of the leaders of a faction called the IG group, it is a splinter movement. I have to speak in this way so that people who watch me across Africa, they can understand, and those who are watching me from Biafra should understand. There have been statements made by this man called Sako Ikome, declaring that there is no alliance between the Biafran people and the Ambazonian people. That is a complete blackmail. He is a paid agent, a federalist that is parading himself as an Ambazonian nationalist, and he speaks for the Cameroon interest. These statements are false. There is an alliance between the Biafran people and Ambazonian people that is being led by the leader of the major factions, the IPOD and the Ambazonian governing councils. This is the reality on the ground. That alliance is flourishing. We are having good relationship with the Biafran people on the ground, and our people have to know that the relationship between the Ambazonian people and the Biafran people goes way back. Late in 2016, there was a congress organized in Imo State between the Biafran National League and the Ambazonian Governing Council that was ongoing, and we have had many conversations and many interactions and good relationship with all the factions in the Biafran land, and we will continue to enhance those relationship. The relationship is for self-preservation, and nobody can stop it. Sako can only speak for himself and for his group. I'm going to take time a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, to really tell you people who are these people behind this sabotage. So we have let me put out the screen. So I'm going to take you into an in-depth look into the people who are trying to sabotage and undermine Biafran aspiration, as well as the people of Ambazonia. It will be surprising to a lot of Biafran people that have called me that somebody in Ambazonia claiming to be an Ambazonia president will send a message to solicitate maybe an alliance with the Nigerian government, a government which is a hostile state towards the Ambazonian people. I'm going to take you into a look into these people who are doing all this issue, and these are the group of people. It is a group of people that call themselves the ACT. They call themselves Team Ambazonia, and I want to show you some of their group members so that you know where they are coming from and exactly what they are trying to do. This is a post made just yesterday by this individual called Innocentia. Innocentia is part of the group led by Sako called the ACT. In this letter, he is condemning the Cameroonians who are planning to protest against Mr. Pobia. Why would somebody who is supposed to be fighting against Pobia condemning people from protesting against Pobia? This will show you the underlying activity of this group of people. They are paid agents by Pobia to undermine any opposition against Biafra and even against Mr. Pobia in La République du Cameroon. Of course, they have a fake reason that it is because somebody wants to go and join that protest with an Ambazonian flag. People have been doing that forever. The reason they are putting this thing is to affect the protest that is going on in Geneva against Mr. Pobia. The Cameroonians have their rights to go and protest against Pobia, and nobody can try to undermine them. You have seen that these are the same people who have tried to stop the ghost town that we have in Ambazonia. The people call themselves the ACT, Innocentia representing one of the group called Maurice. This is just a few individuals from the same village, the same family. Innocentia, his brother, his brother and Bohebert, that they parade themselves as representing Ambazonia. Is ludicrous. So the people of Biafra should know that the people of Ambazonia, the legitimate people, are behind them. These individuals, as you see here, was supporting the cancellation and the temporary, they call it temporary, but we know they were testing the ground because their aim is to stop the ghost town, is to discredit the leadership of Ambazonia, to ensure that the movement will stop for their personal benefit and kickbacks that they have from the Cameroon state. You have to know these people, who these people are. We have also had reports from the World Bank that have clearly stated just this year 2020 that these people privately have committed to federalism with Cameroon as opposed to independence, which is what the people of Ambazonia are fighting for. So they definitely are speaking as people who have an understanding and an active relationship with the Cameroon government. Immediately after this presentation, the initial reaction from Samuel Ikome Sako, who is criticizing and trying to undermine the aspiration, the alliance between the Ambazonian people and the Biafran people, made a press statement in which he says that those who are preaching for federalism will not reject an outcome of independence. Of course, you know, when people have been paid to make statements, they cannot outrightly reject those same statements. That is why you see Sako coming out, his initial reaction to the World Bank report that calls him a federalist that is parading himself as an independentist. That he came out was actually not denying, but saying that those of them who are preaching federalism will accept independence. How ridiculous. It's supposed to be ridiculous anyway. There is nothing like a perfect crime. So the Biafran people have to be rest assured that this man, Sako Ikome, is a federalist who is working hand in hand with the Cameroon government to undermine Ambazonia aspiration. And now that the Cameroon government is partnering with the Buhari government, they have been partnering for a long time, they also will use him to suppress the enthusiasm of both people. It is just common sense that two people who face the same enemy, the enemies are already collaborating, have to see the needs to come together. That's why the Biafran people and the Ambazonian people are coming together with the leadership of Nnamdi Kanu, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and Dr. Chu Ayaba to ensure self-preservation and effectiveness in the prosecution of their strategy to liberate both people. I will still give you a little bit background information so that, ladies and gentlemen, you know exactly who these people are. The person in question, Samuel Ikome Sako, was acting as an acting interim president for Seseko Ayoktabi, who was kidnapped by the Nigerian government. During the period of time when he was acting as an acting interim president of this group called the IG group, representing Seseko Ayoktabi, his administration was marred with corruption, misappropriation, and he was definitely called to book by his same organization, the IG group. As you can see behind me, I'm going to play this video of a constituent conference of all the constituent members of that organization who came into a conference in Washington, and indicted him and put him on suspension for committing gross misappropriation and embezzlement. You can listen. The speaker of this video is the Ambazonian Bar Association President, Harmony Bogba, speaking on behalf of this organization, calling this individual Sako Ikome, whom we know is a federalist, to book. You can listen.
Of fraud, embezzlement, and gross misappropriation of public funds will resolve as follows. A. An independent external audit shall be initiated immediately and must be completed within 30 days. B. That during this audit, acting president, Dr. Samuel Ikome Sako, as head of the executive arm of government in place, is placed on an administrative leave.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the individual Sako Ikome was suspended by his organization, the IG group. Even though he refused to relinquish power and his position, he now do not represent that group. He represents a splinter group of the IG group, which is still under the control of Seseko Ayoktabi, who is in prison. He has named Mr. Yerima Dabni as his acting interim president. For the meantime, Sako have been fired from his group, the IG group. Let me bring to you videos of that conference in his organization that resolved to terminate him being a representative of that group called the interim government.
Publicly challenged the authority and mental aptitude manuscript, also called the draft constitution, that centralized powers in his hands to the extent of incapacitating the legislative arm and creating a fake judiciary committee of the interim government to such extent that his tenure now clearly mirrors that of dictator Bia's regime and the governmental style of neighboring La République du Cameroon. That acting president, Dr. Sako, publicly challenged the authority and mental aptitude of our captured leaders, thereby undermining his superiority and denigrating the image of our entire leadership. That the administration of acting president Dr. Sako has been marred with continuous divisive tendencies, with the banning of active revolutionary movements and individuals, and also the practice of corruption, corrupting self-defense volunteers on the ground, thereby increasing the discontent and disunity amongst our people, and increasing the death toll of our restoration forces with false and unfulfilled promises through my trip to Boya. That the administration of acting president Dr. Sako, through inflammatory negative public pronouncements, has greatly stained the image and integrity of our beloved Ambazonia before our people and the international community, thereby hampering the diplomatic work of every Southern Cameroonian involved in diplomacy. Based on all the facts established, the APNC 2019 hereby considers acting President Sako very limited in his abilities and character to lead the people of Ambazonia in completing the restoration and independence mission. APNC 2019 and all its constituencies hereby from the date of publication of this statement cease to recognize Dr. Samuel Ikome Sako together with any of his appointees as representatives of their aspirations, and advises all Ambazonians to follow suit.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can hear clearly, that is the organization, the IG group, that have banned Sako and fired him. He does not represent them in any legitimate form. He is a federalist as declared by the World Bank report of 2021 regarding Cameroon. He do not represent our aspiration. He is a self-declared president of his imaginary state. The Ambazonia is real. Our territory have had a legitimate government that was led by Dr. Jongu Foncha. That government had been dissolved by the Cameroon state, and our territory remains without a government. When our territory have been liberated, our people will mandate a party or an individual or whoever they choose to create a real government for themselves. It is ridiculous that this man who have been fired from his group will then claim that he is speaking on behalf of Ambazonia. Every Ambazonia have the right of political association and political participation and can organize groups to represent the interests of the state. No group have an exclusive power to represent the interests of our people. No group is a government. It is ludicrous, it is laughable, but we know these are people motivated by financial gains. He have a history of being somebody who have been engaged in such dubious activities during his tenure as an acting interim president in the IG group. He was also marred with corruption, embezzlement, and misappropriation of funds, using money from the refugee, using donated money to live luxurious life while the people suffer. So his statements should be ignored. They are inconsequential and they are irrelevant. We are marching forward with our alliance with the Biafran people. Both people on both sides of the territory are coming together. We also recognize other factions in the Biafran movement, and we are also engaging them. We will continue to do so, and while we are fighting for our liberation struggle. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm also going to take you people now into Manu. The Ambazonia Defense Forces, the Akamanso, have gone into Manu as we are expanding. We are now in a strategic program phase of our liberation, where we are isolating outposts of Cameroon military and raiding them. We are seeing other forces doing the same. We congratulate them. We have to continue this movement. We have had huge success. Some of those success will not be broadcast here for security reasons, but we are going to release some images later on. And in Manu, you know very well, these paid agents, these federalists that are masquerading themselves as Ambazonian, had brought in tribalism that had kicked out a lot of our forces in Manu. As our forces are going into those areas, some of those areas, they are actually engineered tribalist villagers to arrest some Ambazonian fighters and hand them over to the enemy state of Cameroon. Those soldiers were killed. So because our forces have gone there and they are carrying out some operations, intelligence operation, picking up some of those people who were involved, educating the local people, some individuals who are CPDM people who are in this occultic movement of the CPDM and embedded agents. They are now using those information of arrest of civilians by the ADF forces as propaganda tool against our forces. We want to reassure our people that every activity done by our soldiers on the ground,
and why all this
on with no cause. Anybody that have been arrested have a just cause to be arrested. Nobody have business as usual. The Cameroon government is not in control of that area. The forces of the Buffalo as well as the ADF forces of that fraction of the IG cannot definitely unite with us because they don't share a common goal of independence. These are federalists. These are paid federalists. Their political stance and objective is not driven by the ideology. It is driven by personal benefit. These are corrupt individuals who have a very bad record privately. So God bless you all. We'll continue the Ghost Town movement. We'll continue to bring you updates across the Ambazonian territory. There are more footages of our soldiers who captured a timber position also in Manu there. And I want to also congratulate General Papi for the wonderful work they are doing. We have had a wonderful conversation yesterday. And these are our sister forces. They carry out a wonderful operation there. We congratulate them. We'll continue to support them and provide them with the necessary support they need to carry out their mission. God bless you. Have a good day. Ciao.